197.
I call the Honourable Member Sua William Sio. Talofa lava.
Talofa lava, Chair. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to make some remarks about the objectives of the bill before I get on to the part one, which is the substantive part of this particular bill. I'm reminded, sir, of the building of a whale in Samoa, that when you begin the building of the whale, you've got to make sure that the posts of that whale are on solid foundation and they stand firm and straight. And if they don't stand firm and straight, sir, what happens is the rest of the house is all over the place. And I make reference to that because this is a this bill here significantly changes the Social Security Act that we've had for quite a long time. And the government presented to the committee the objectives of this bill, and I'll read out as thus. It reduces benefit dependency, is work focused and encourages independence, supports an investment approach that focuses resources where they will be most effective in reducing benefit dependency, is able to work with a greater number of beneficiaries to support them into work, reinforces social norms and improves social outcomes through the introduction of social obligation for parents and encouraging beneficiaries who want to arrest to clear them. You know, on the surface of that, sir, those objectives seem to be okay. But when you really dig deep into it, why is it that we are condemning those who are reliant and dependent on support? Why is that? Why is it that we are condemning mothers, beneficiaries, those who are in employment for no fault of their own? Why is it that then when we consider, why should we not be considering that a child dependent on the mother is just as important? Why is it that we do not consider that the dependency of employer on our education system to provide skilled workforce is okay, yet we cannot accept the dependency of a solo mother who requires our collective support? Why is it okay for us to accept that businesses can depend on tax-funded roads for the distribution of their goods and services? Why is it that we can't accept the fact that there are a group of our community who, through no fault of their own, end up being dependent on the collective support of the country because they are either unemployed, they are sick, or their husband has left them, or they are on their own because of death in the family? Why is it? And sir, because of the flawed foundation of this bill, the flawed purpose, everything else is flawed as far as I'm concerned. And one can't help, and this was raised by one of the submitters, that this second round of welfare reform is based on part on flawed United Kingdom laws. And that raises more questions, sir, because not only does it look like New Zealand is about to repeat the mistakes of another country, but the Select Committee considering the bill has been left in the dark over how the new rules for those currently on a sickness or invalid benefit will work. I want to draw your attention to the regulatory impact statement, particularly with reference to children, because at the end of the day, many submitters said that the group of people that will be detrimentally be affected by this bill are children. At the end of the day, when you sanction mothers, when you sanction solo parents, when you force them to work test, who suffers? The submitters who came to the Select Committee said it would be children. Here's what the regulatory impact statement said: that the home environment by far is the most important domain for child development. By far the most important domain for child development. And here it is, we've got clauses in this bill which says a mother must find full-time work or part-time work. Therefore, a mother is compelled to place a young child into long-term childcare facilities. And yet, in the regulatory impact statement, which was given to this government, by far the most important domain for Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
Sir William Seo.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Chair. What a wonderful chair you are. By far, the home environment is the most important domain for child development. The regulatory impact statement then goes, long duration childcare from birth is harmful. Long duration childcare from birth is harmful. But this is what this bill is going to place a lot of children into, because mums, solo parents, are going to have to be forced to place their children in long duration childcare because of the work testing and the sanctions that are going to be imposed upon them. Long duration childcare is required when a mother is required to work full-time or substantial part-time, as is in the bill. Then furthermore, it says the OECD found regarding child development, a return to work of the mother before the child is 6 months old will have more negative effects on the development of that child. So there is so much evidence, there is a huge body of evidence that says that the most critical period in the child's development is from birth to 7 years. And I think that has not been given consideration by the government in implementing this bill. I want to say that the submission that stood out for me the most from the public is a solo mother by the name of Charlotte Murray, who gave her own experience, single mother with 2 children, 2 years and 5 years. And her submission, sir, was that mothers who are forced into work with young children, are going to be under extreme stress, and they're going to pass that stress on. And she submitted that in turn, that is going to be harmful to the children. So, and I don't know how the minister and the members of her government can really recognise that there is an issue here that has not yet been addressed. I want to also point the fact that there were many submissions from the disabilities community, and I want to just quote what they said because it's more powerful in their words. Darren Kemp says, it is costly being disabled. It is costly living on a benefit. It is costlier living on a benefit when one is disabled. And no one should be worse off than they already are. And Darren Kemp says his solution is job creation. And job creation on a large scale, not forcing sick people to look for jobs. And he said the government bill should really be called forcing the sick and solo parents to look for work with no support. But I want to go on, sir, because I think it is important. Darren Kemp says a lot of anxiety for beneficiaries with neurological illnesses who get taken off the benefit, then they're put on again. And so he opposes these reforms because this is the practical implication he sees for people with neurological illnesses. And their submission was that WINS case managers, including receptionists, require major attitudinal change in order to support people with dual disorders and to stop the ignorance. The point he was making is this was going to create havoc for people with disabilities, and particularly so when even the managers, those who are dealing with them from WINS, are themselves have difficulty understanding their disabilities. And so welfare changes will result in endless medical certificates, loads of paperwork by doctors with no knowledge of the impact it will have on people, particularly people of dual disorders. And many with dual disorders are denied WINS support to enable them to attend interviews. And they said, no interview, no job. This is a submission also from Robin Williams. And he said more than 70% of patients with attention deficit disorder will have dual disorders, and these disabilities are permanent. They remain forever. Their point, sir, is there is a high rate of unemployment for those with disorders. There is a high rate of unemployment for blind people. Blind people want to work, but unemployment for blind people is at 60%. And so the point I'm making is people, whether they are solo parent, whether they are unemployed, whether they have disabilities, they want to work. But the foundation of this bill, sir, assumes that they don't.
I call the Honourable Member Peseta Sam Lotu Ainga. Talofa lava.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to speak in the committee stage of this